Hello everyone. Today I am going to discuss about Amazon Identity and Access Management. In this session, we are discussing about IAM, components of IAM, features of IAM and creation of IAM roles. Basically, AWS IAM is a service offered by Amazon Web Services and it stands for AWS Identity and Access Management, which has the ability to control the access of AWS resources for the users. The purpose served by AWS IAM is authorization and authentication. And also, it provides high level of data protection at lower cost for the users. By using IAM, we can create and manage the users and groups to allow the access to the resources. The principle in AWS IAM is nothing but it is an entity which is used to take an action on the AWS resource. The administrative IAM user is the first principle which can allow the user for the particular services in order to assume a role. And about authentication and authorization. Authentication is the most commonly used principle which is used to log into AWS while sending the request to it. And authorization means while authorizing the IAM values which are raised from the request will context to check all the matching policies and evaluate whether it is allowed or denied. Next one is components of IAM. IAM has mainly four components. They are users, groups, roles and policies. I will explain each of these components. First one is user. User is an entity that you create in AWS to represent a person or application that uses it to interact with AWS. That is what is user. And about group, an IAM group is the collection of IAM users. Groups let you specify the permissions for multiple users, which will make it easier to manage the permissions for those users. That is what is groups. And also the group contain many users. That means multiple users and the user can belong to multiple groups. That is a peculiarity of IAM groups. Then roles means IAM role is an entity which you create in your account that has a specific set of permissions. That is roles. And also you can use the roles to provide access to users, applications or services which we don't give that access to your AWS resources. That is AWS roles. And the last component is policy. Policy, which is an object in AWS. Actually, it is an object that associated with an identity or resource which defines the permissions. These type of identity-based policies includes AWS managed policies, customer managed policies, inline policies, etc. And also in this case, by default, all the requests are denied. So you must provide each and every access to the services and resources to intend for the identity to access the resources. And also if you want to give some access to complete the specified actions in the IAM console, then you need to provide the additional permissions. And these are the four components of IAM. Next, we can look into the features of IAM. There are so many features for IAM and here are some of them. First one is shared access to your AWS account, then granular permissions, identity information for assurance, secure access to AWS resources for applications that run on Amazon EC2, multi-factor authentication, and integrated with many AWS services. While discussing about each of the feature, the first feature is shared access to your AWS account. Without sharing your password, you are eligible to access the other permission with respect to the administrator as well as the resources from your current AWS account. And the second feature is granular permissions. What do you mean by granular permissions? By this granular permission, you are able to grant the permission for different according to their resources, which means you can give all access to EC2 instance or Amazon EC2, or we can give all access to S3, or we can give you can give access to any AWS services. That is what is granular permissions. Next one is identity information for assurance. When we use the service which is CloudTrail, then we will definitely get the log records which includes all the information that is made according to the resources in your account. So all these informations are generally named as identities, that is IAM identities. And another important feature is secure access to AWS resources. This will be used to secure all the login credentials which can be successfully on the Amazon EC2 instance. And also we can offer the permissions in order to access your applications with respect to AWS services. This is what is secured access to AWS resources. Next one is multi-factor authentication or MFA. You all have already heard about this MFA. In this case, by using MFA, we can easily add the two-factor authentication, not only for your account, but also for the individual user accounts for the higher security. These all are some of the features of IAM. Next, we can look at how to create the IAM roles. So this is the Amazon AWS console, and in this console, you can choose the service IAM service, and there is a search button. You can search IAM, and under this IAM service, you can click on roles option. When we click on roles option, then you can see there is an option called create roles. So click on that create roles to create roles. And when we create the roles, a page will appear. From that, select the type of trusted entity. You can see 4 entities are there: AWS service, another AWS account, web identity, and SAML federation. So choose the option AWS service. At the bottom part, you can see choose a use case. So some of the common use cases are there. You can choose any of the use cases. Here I am selecting the EC2 use case. So click on to next permission. When we click on the next permission, a page will appear to choose the policies to attach the new role. So you can choose the policies from here. Then attach one or more policies to attach to this role. After attaching the roles, then click on next tags. Then while we click on next tags, a new page will appear to create the role. There you can provide the role name, the description of the role, then any trusted entities, etc. After that, click on create role button. This is how we create roles. That's all about IAM. Thank you for watching.